morning. My name is Sister Jane Ann Slater, and I'm the Chancellor of the Archdiocese of San Antonio. I'm here today with community faith leaders and members of COPs Metro to urge voters to go to the polls on Election Day, Tuesday, November 6th, or to participate in early voting. We are also calling on all citizens to educate themselves regarding the candidates and other measures on the ballot. We ask everyone to base their votes on their beliefs and values regarding the candidates and other measures. We want to make it clear that no matter who is elected, the faith community will continue to advocate fully in the legislative process regarding unresolved issues. An example of our advocacy is an archdiocesan postcard campaign, the boxes are here, which was one of many similar initiatives that took place in dioceses throughout the country this summer in accord with the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. A total of 136 parishes gathered signed postcards which seek a bipartisan, comprehensive agreement on immigration. One parish, St. Rose of Lima Church, returned more than 500 postcards. The postcards requested that any immigration reform uphold the rule of law, preserve family unity, protect the human rights and dignity of every person, and contemplate a path to citizenship for dreamers. Another focus of the effort was that any immigration reform should include smart, humane enforcement policies. As early voting numbers hit record levels, before Election Day, we urge people to find useful resources to form their consciences, to go and vote on November 6th, and to continue their involvement afterwards. One way to stay involved is to take part in Catholic Advocacy Day at the state capitol in Austin on March 26, 2019. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Delshi Piper. I'm a leader in the San Antonio Sponsoring Committee, an IAF organization. I'm a minister at True Vine Church and a faculty member at the University of the Incarnate Word. I'm here today to stand in solidarity with the Archdiocese of San Antonio, COPs Metro, and other organizations represented here today to inform local government that I am encouraging all of the communities that I am connected with to get out the vote. There are numerous issues on the ballot that impact my community, and we want whoever is elected to know that we expect you to fulfill your campaign promises. This issue of immigration detention or deportation has to be addressed at the local, state, and federal level. And my people want to know what is being done to prevent the separation of children from parents. Father Boyle, who works with gang members in California, which some of our refugee brothers and sisters are accused of being, has said, he reminds us that success and failure ultimately have little to do with living the gospel. Jesus just stood with the outcasts until they were welcomed or until he was crucified, whichever came first. We are going to close our eyes, both of our eyes, and see with our hearts in response to these immigration issues. We encourage our elected officials to do the same. We want to inform you that we look forward to working with you, our elected officials, in these specific areas to create better living conditions for everyone in the state of Texas. We also want to encourage our elected officials to act in our best interest. We give up some of our civil liberties so that you can work towards a civil society, one that is effective and efficient. We encourage you to act in the most loving way towards all you encounter. Here I stand, a non-denominational Christian minister with other interfaith organizations here today for social and community justice. We expect for our elected officials to do the same. Lastly, I want to remind my fellow voters to, if you have not voted yet, get out to vote. Know each of the charter amendments what they propose. Each proposition, A, B, and C, is advocating for something different. Do your homework, then go vote. Make an informed decision. Thank you for your time this morning.
Good morning. My name is Reverend Dr. Josh Snyder, and I am the minister at the First Unitarian Universalist Church here in San Antonio and a leader with COPs Metro. You know, one of the great things about America is that we are able to choose and articulate and practice the faith of our choosing based on our conscience and on our inspired feelings. We don't have to always agree on those things. We can have differences and learn from each other. But you know, the thing that's the most important isn't really our differences, it's what we have in common. It's to how we agree, how we learn from each other, the things that we value. Right now, we live in a time of pipe bombs in the mail and shootings at synagogues in our country, and our hearts break for those people whose families and loved ones have been affected, and those communities who live in fear and terror. Those acts of violence or potential violence come from a place of fear and division, and they want to create more fear and division. And so it's all the more important for those of us, regardless of our faith tradition, to have before us front and center a sense of unity and connection and love. Because when we see our neighbor as ourselves and see the face of God in that other person, we come to live into a community that is connected and values those things, so many things we hold in common, rather than seeing all the divisions that separate us. And so, when we vote and bring new or re-elect old politicians to those offices, it's important that we not go away after Election Day, that we continue to be connected to them, to advocate for that vision of connection and unity all year long, not just when it comes to Election Day, and to put that before them so that that vision can become a reality. Thank you very much.
We're grateful to the media for being here with us so that the voices of many people that we represent will be heard. Initially, I would like to offer my deepest condolences to the families of those killed in the tragic shooting in the Pittsburgh Tree of Life Synagogue. We are in unity and solidarity with the Jewish community in San Antonio in these troubling times. Every election offers us all the opportunity to deepen our understanding the teachings of faith as they apply to the real world issues that confront our society every day. United States Conference of Catholic Bishops document, Forming Consciences for Faithful Citizens, reads, "We are called to bring together our principles and our political choices, our values and our votes to help build a better world." End of quote. As people of faith, we have both the right and the obligation to place our moral values based on solid teaching above our allegiance to any political party. It encourages us to carry out our responsibility to transform any party to which you may belong and not allow that party to transform you. That takes courage and strength. When St. Peter and his disciples were caught in a storm, as the winds tossed their fishing boat like a toy, they saw Jesus walking on the water. St. Peter called out, "Lord, if it is you, bid me come to you on the water." He then steps out of the boat and walks on the water towards Jesus until he felt the force of the wind and became afraid and cried out, "Lord, save me." We must not be afraid to do the right thing. Have our voice heard, even if it is an unpopular position in the storm of current political debate. However, we must not take our eyes from the Lord and allow the political winds to cause us to lose faith and watch our values be drowned out by strident and divisive voices. We must, especially at this most political time, be people of principle, not politics. The political system is one way we build a just society, and our faith must be the platform upon which our trust in God is the strength of every plan. We must always be cautious to not allow the church, its agencies, or institutions to be used by others to seek political advantage. Even when it will seem that motives are pure, we can place the church in a compromised position when it appears to be political and not principled. We do not endorse or oppose candidates, political parties, or groups of candidates, but do address the moral and human dimension of public issues. Share church teaching on human life, human rights, justice and peace, and apply our religious values to legislation and public issues. Let us remember to not allow our faith to be shaken by political pressure. Be not afraid to protect the dignity of every human person, the value of every human life, working for the common good, and supporting those means by which we can build a culture of life and a just society. Thank you.
That concludes our press conference today. All of the presenters will be available for one-on-one or small group interviews with the media. Thank you all for